Welcome to the Tone Lounge Podcast, the definitive music industry and gear podcast with Jonathan Gilmet and Frank Fleckenstein.
What's up? Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever we catch you. This is the Tone Lounge Podcast, the definitive MI industry podcast where we talk about guitar stuff and other music-related stuff. And today I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Jonathan Gilmet, aka the Duke of Oxingen. That's Frank, your host, and I want to start by asking, how have you been?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who else is here? I'm not
maybe you're asking the audience so that they write it in the comments. I was like, well, that's new. I'm doing good. Working on a lot of Vox-related stuff. I rented a AC30. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing Vox. Well, not exclusively Vox, but a lot of the stuff I do is centered around Vox amps. I've never done the AC30. People keep asking me, like, what are your thoughts on it? Is it any good? How does it compare to the AC15? So that's what I'm working on right now. So I'm going to have a shootout. I'm going to give... I also have some Tone X that I did some captures of the AC30. I'm going to have it for the Kemper as well. There's going to be a lot of free stuff too for people who come in just to watch it. All they have to do is just go to the link in those videos and they're going to be able to grab those. I'm going to have some of them for sale. So yeah, it's a pretty big endeavor, but I think it's going to be a fun one. How about you? What have you been up to?
I have been preparing a little bit for Guitar Summit as I'm attending the show, at least on Friday and like half of Saturday, as I did last year, because I was like, my family duties don't give me the opportunity to go the entire weekend. Also, it doesn't really make sense to stay for the Sunday because that's like the family day and it's, more family entertainment in the end. But I'm going there. I am looking forward to grab a lot of footage for content creation. I have a little fun project that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want people to steal the idea, because I think it's a very cool idea, but I've told you about it when we talked offline. And I'm looking forward to meet a lot of people. I've sent out a couple of requests to artists that are going to be there for interviews that I can also use. And then obviously I want to get in touch with as many people as possible. Also, obviously because I want to improve my job situation, but also there is potential, obviously, for people that we can invite to the podcast.
Yeah.
So that is something that I've been digging myself into. And I would like to start with a couple of news items that I've collected the past couple of days. Some of them are product releases. And there's another story that kind of caught my attention, and I thought we could talk about this too. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you see this?
Yep.
Perfecto mundo. Okay, let's start with our favorite amp company. So, Marshall Amplifiers has launched a new product. And of course, we would assume it's like, oh, they come up with a new amp, but they don't. So, Marshall officially launches the Bromley 750, its first ever party speaker, complete with integrated stage lights.
Okay.
Though for decades one of the world's top guitar amp brands, it still is, of course. Recent years have seen Marshall foray further into the world of consumer audio, with products like headphones and Bluetooth speakers becoming a staple of its product lineup. Now the company is once again pushing into new territory as it unveils its first ever party speaker. I don't know. I look at this and I'm like, it's like a huge Bluetooth speaker with lights in there. That's the only difference. That's what I see. What?
What I see is a missed opportunity to come out with a really rocking bass amp.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That would have been cool. Like if you had this kind of format for bass, go for that Lemmy kind of Marshall-y tone. That would have been cool. But party amp? Like,
yeah.
My kids listen to music on their fucking iPhones, and they use these little like jam boxes. That here would be overkill. Like what? Like who's the target audience of this?
Yeah, but it's that's the thing. First of all, the way this article is written is already kind of weird, because like, though for decades one of the world's top guitar amp brands kind of talks into the direction of, well, they have been great, but that's over.
Moving on too.
And then and then it goes like, it still is, of course, but like, in between dashes,
yeah,
it still is, of course. And then the other thing, where it says perhaps the unit's most intriguing feature isn't its sound at all, which is also like, okay, so you're telling me the sound isn't that great, really? But rather the integration of stage lighting on its front panel, which is sure to set the Bromley 750 apart from other similar standalone or party speakers. Like, what in the heck is going on here? I mean, I've seen. So I was surfing around LinkedIn today, and there are a couple of people from the British MI industry who've already commented on this, and they're like, okay, Marshall's delude is continuing, and they were like, their target audience is definitely another these days. And yeah, I mean, if they're selling a party speaker, then their new target audience is party people. I would assume.
Definitely not musicians.
Oh, no.
Because this is the kind of crap I see here. Like, I know our audience is partly in Europe, partly in the Americas. I can tell you, whenever I walk as a Canadian into a Costco and they have these big ass speakers that are just projecting lasers at my eyes just to blind me, and it has the most boomy shit sound you've ever heard, I think, who's the goofball who came out with this and think this is a great idea? And then Marshall goes, wait, hold my beer. I got you.
but that's the other thing. So if we dive further into this, apparently it has like a, like 360 degree stereophonic sound, blah, 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 and sound character control. It has all the shabams. But here's the fun part. So I have no idea what like 750 sort of implies that it might have like 750 watts, but that is obviously class D. It's not, it's not a class A amp or something. But here's the fun part. The Bromley 750 weighs 23.9 kilos. So that's already like, to carry that stuff around is already, I mean, it depends on where you want to party, obviously.
Yeah.
But if let's suppose you want to party at the beach, then you need a proper cart to surf this thing around. And then it also says it measures 65.2 by 41 by 35.5 millimeters. So this thing is also like over a meter high.
That is not a portable device.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you'll also be pleased to know it's fitted with a set of wheels for lugging it around an airport, the sidewalk, or well, anywhere. What? An airport? Who has written this article? I mean, sidewalk, yeah, I agree. But like lugging it around the airport, you want to party at the airport? Is that what this thing is about?
Maybe you got some guy in like Berlin who has a friend in Washington, D.C., and his friend doesn't have a stereo. So the guy in Berlin's like, wait, dude, I got you. Yeah. Wait, I'm going to bring my Marshall. Your Marshall. Oh, yeah. And it's got LED lights in it. We're going to fucking rock this thing. I don't know how they come up with this shit. Do they all sit there completely delusional as to how people listen to music? And this is what, like, I don't know, dude. They really missed a good opportunity to make a cool amp, like musician's tool.
I mean, I know that marijuana has been legalized in Germany. I'm not sure about the UK or wherever these guys sit.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then obviously, here's Marshall's statement about this. It's like, when we first considered entering the party speaker category, we saw an opportunity to bring something different to a uniform market by staying true to our identity and what we are great at, prioritizing iconic design and superior acoustics. We've created a standout product that brings something fresh to an otherwise homogeneous category, says Hannah Wallner, product manager at Marshall Group. We designed Bromley 750 to be something you want to keep out and show off. A speaker that becomes part of your home and interior. I'm not going to put this thing anywhere in my house. It's just, the design is rooted in our heritage with party at its core. It's bold and straightforward, with every material chosen for a reason to both look good and withstand countless parties to come.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that by next year they're going to come out with a home console with games where musicians are the hero and they actually get paid what they're worth? That would be like a cool concept for Marshall. But hey, the news is not all bad, because the Bromley 750 will be available from December 23rd for 899.99 British pounds. That is like $1,200 at this point. I mean, and then obviously you have to add tariffs, because tariffs are a beautiful thing. They didn't. Yeah. What's going on at Marshall? Yeah. Let's make them great again.
They used to be a great company. They used to be great, but quite frankly, right now they're pissing in it.
That would be the only time I'd ever agree with Trump. Yeah,
100%. Yeah. So So bottom line, I mean, we could laugh about this for hours probably, and come up with all kinds of funny jokes around this. But like, bottom line is, Marshall as a company is getting further and further away from what their core audience was, which is musicians. And it seems like whatever they come up with as like their new amp head or like the new pedal doesn't really matter, because they're pushing it on their front way more than they push it on their like sort of core market, or what used to be their core market.
I wonder if maybe we're the goofballs here that are not seeing what they're seeing. Are they seeing an industry that is like sinking really fast, and they're just trying to stay ahead of the curve by taking the Marshall name, which has been synonymous with musicians as being like a great company, and just trying to get the non-musician public to start to associate these guys with greatness? Like, hey, they make great headphones, they make this, that, and that. And now they become a real household name, securing a spot while the industry is like completely tanking.
I think it's way more basic. The Marshall Group, which is essentially now like the same thing before, like people who invest into something and they want to see a return on their investment, and they probably just came up with the equation that, hey, there's way more people out there that want to party than people that want to pick up an instrument and play.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see your point. I'm just wondering, what are they going to party to when there's no more musicians around?
Nowadays, as Rick Beato has just shown, nowadays you can just create like an AI everything,
That's
create
true.
an AI song, AI lyrics, and a fictional AI person to play in a video, and instantly that fake person gets all the attention, grows a huge fan base, and people start to cover the song. Like, are you kidding me? This is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. I think this it's there's probably more money in this than there is in an amp, which is more complicated to build, and there's more things that can go wrong because it's tube technology. It's not like some pre-assembled PCBs that you just put together with a couple of like one of these band cables, chuck.
Yeah,
and it's just much easier to do. Made in China or Vietnam, where their pedals come from, or wherever it's coming from, and then sold for 900 British pounds. It's just
I can tell you, for speaking for myself here, this is something I would not even like entertain purchasing, because I'm not the target market for this, obviously. I think a lot of musicians may feel this way too. Like, a lot of guitar players are going to look at this and go, it looks like a guitar amp or a bass amp, and then they actually have a look at it and they go, oh, okay, it's just a fucking toy. It's not like a serious musician. It looks like a serious, like, I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, if this would have been a bass amp, that would have been cool, but that's not the route they took.
No.
They went with mass market, tried to appeal as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Can't really fault them for it, but at the same time,
No.
it's really disappointing as a musician to see a company with that kind of legacy going down the, let's make something just because we thought of it. Like, there's no actual, like, they can't actually justify the purpose of a fucking square box with a speaker and some LEDs in it that's just really loud and really heavy. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
And I don't know. I anticipate this thing is going to sell. It's made easy for people to buy that kind of stuff. However, there are companies that kind of were able to sort of please both audiences. If you look at Positive Grid, for example, and the Spark, which is like this like 40 watt. There's also a bigger version. This is a proper guitar amp. You can play this. It has like connectivity with your, phone or iPad or whatever you're using. But if you just want to play songs through it, you can do that as well. There is this opportunity, but it's also a proper guitar amp, and you can like rock through it if you want to. So Spark has sort of like bridged this gap between consumer and something that actually sounds professional in a certain way. Obviously, you won't be playing gigs with it, but most people don't play gigs. Most people play at home jam with friends.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to follow the success of this product, or not, if it's unsuccessful.
Yeah.
We'll see. Moving into the next funky topic, which is this one. No, I do not accept your cookies. So the release of this new Boss pedal has really stirred up a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the plug-out FX, the PX1, which is Boss's new pedal, where you actually have, so it's just the size, it's the regular size of a Boss pedal, but all the effects in there are like digitally created or recreated from classic Boss pedals. So you buy this thing, people were kind of thrown off by the price, so it's like $249 or 269 euros. And it comes with 16 different like stomp boxes, Boss stomp boxes. Like 8 of them are built in, and then if you get the application that you need to kind of throw things in and out there, then you get an additional 8, and those are free. But anything that comes after that is based on a subscription model. And that is something.
Decided to go subscription. Oh,
yes. So they decided. So this is an article from Ultimate Guitar. Boss is releasing a new compact pedal with incredible versatility. That's true. The PX1 is a convertible stompbox featuring many authentic effect recreations from the historic Boss effects lineup. 16 effects are available on purchase, and users will be able to add more over time with the Boss Effect Loader app for Android and iOS devices. Obviously, it comes with a DSP engine, and then has a little display for people who are listening and not watching. So it has a little display here, and then the 3 knobs that you use to like change values are also like push knobs, so you can like move through menus. Has stereo in and out, has USB connectivity, obviously, because you need to probably make software, firmware updates, that kind of stuff. And included, what is it? Yeah, stuff like the PH1 phaser, the Super Overdrive, the PN2, the DS1, as far as I'm aware, the OD3 as well, but also a couple of pedals that are like not really, interesting or sought after. Like they put some stuff in there that's like, yeah, right. Like the slow gear, for example, which is just like this weird effect everybody's like looking for, but nobody really has a use for it. But yeah, so the biggest controversy was around the subscription model, which on one hand I'm like, well, we're not there yet. First, for now, you'll buy a pedal for $249 US or 269 euros, and you get 16 classic Boss stomp boxes in there, and you can, throw in there whatever you want. It actually has MIDI as well, so you can also, switch things via MIDI, which is definitely nice. So we're not there yet. On the other hand, if the day comes where they're like, all right, here's new stuff that we are offering for the PX1, but now you have to pay. That's gonna throw people off, and that's gonna ultimately, I'm not sure how high the adoption rate for this thing is.
I think from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of people that made some really great arguments about why this is like too little, too late. There's no tuner on board.
Yeah.
The display isn't all that big. So if you're playing live, let's say the intention is for a gigging musician. I mean, it's very limiting because who's going to whip out their phone to navigate to the next effect for the next songs?
Right.
A lot of people, what they're doing is programming everything for the set that they're playing. So if they're going to have a MIDI controller to just click on a bank, it goes to the next sound, so on and so forth. Now, you said that this has MIDI, which is cool, but if you have to have an extra foot switch along with the pedal to be able to navigate that, it's not very practical. So the format too, it seems like they're trying to cram a lot into a small footprint, but the usability of this kind of pedal, I don't think it's as perfect as it could have been upon release. I love Boss. I've always loved Boss.
Yeah.
But this is the first pedal that they put out where I scratched my head thinking, was the R&D really up to snuff on this one? Like, did you guys really bring it to 2025 standard? Because this looks more like something you could have expected them to do maybe in 2014.
Yes. And I mean, like, trying to remember back, I think around that time, Digitech actually made a pedal that only had like 3 knobs and nothing else, and it was app-based. So you would have to like do everything in the application, which was also kind of like people complained about that it was all in the application.
Yeah.
But essentially something like this already exists, just not from Boss and not with like Boss's classic creations. That's the difference.
And the question is too, is let's say you and I are both shopping for Boss pedals. You buy an analog pedal, it's going to be good for 25, 35 years, whatever, right? What's the longevity of this product? Because it's a current technology thing. So in 15 years, if someone sees this on Reverb and says, hey, those plug out, hey, I remember those, I'm going to buy one. Well, who says that you have the right USB cable? Because USB cables keep changing all the fucking time. So you're going to have to sell it with the right cable in the future. Also, the app, depending on what phone you have, might not be compatible with the phone that you have. You might have to keep.
Yeah, but that's the issue. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's the issue with all products on that basis. Exactly. I mean, that's even the issue with like a quad cortex. You know, that the quad cortex came out with like supposedly very high end DSP chips, but those in 5 or 6 years, those are obsolete.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going so fast. Like the whole chip game is going so fast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Just look at the audio world. I remember my first audio card that I bought, like it was like 16 bits, and then they raised it up to 24. Now you have 32-bit float. So if you look at all that and you look at, the resolution of the audio too, that keeps growing exponentially. Yes. Technology keeps getting smaller but more powerful. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking for the price point and the type of features, maybe cool for someone playing at home. But for a gigging musician, I can't see how someone playing a gig can just whip out their phone and go, okay, I need a phaser for this next one. And then I'm going to... Like, you need like 4 or 5 of these on your board. And at that price point, might as well go with like some of their other model, like the M80 or whatever they're at now, and just go for one of those all in, and you don't have to take out some stupid phone just to switch the sounds.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure again who the target audience for this is.
Yeah, neither do I.
I feel like some of these releases are just like, something we talked about a couple of times, companies needing to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Needing to stay relevant and being like, we need people to talk about Boss. So here's our new pedal. Oh, I'm going to steer up the pot because, the things are going to be subscription based. Oh, that's going to fuck them up.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Is if you're buying it, you think you own it. But if you want to get all the other things that are appealing to you with this, it's subscription. I hate that model. Some people are fine with it, but personally, if I put $249 or $69 on something, I have to own it. If I'm just licensing it for that price, fuck off. Like, I got other stuff to do. Like, this is not that appealing for me.
And also, essentially, and not over here, because here it's going to be a bit more difficult because the culture around used inventory isn't as sort of like advanced as in the US, for example. Yeah. But if you take $250, you can get, if you're lucky and if you're searching well, you can get 5 Boss effects for that price, like let's say $45-$50 each. That is totally possible. If you want a couple of gain stages, that's possible. Absolutely. Maybe a phaser is going to be more expensive, but as far as I've seen, I don't think that they have a reverb in there.
That I don't know. I haven't looked at the full list.
I'm not sure what the list is. Let's see if we can find out. For God's sake, all this stuff.
You want them cookies?
You want cookies? I'll give you cookies. I'm going to shoot you down with your cookies. Okay, comes with 16 effects. OD1 overdrive. SP1, the Spectrum, that's an overdrive 2 or Spectrum or like some frequency, I'm not sure. Phaser, slow gear, compressor, auto wah, SD1, DS1, that's distortion and overdrive. CE2, that's the chorus. BF2, that's the phaser. PN2, what was the PN2? Oh God, I don't remember. OC2, PS2, VB2, DD. Okay, so there's a delay in there. It's not too bad. But no reverb.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a powerful DSP in there, so why wouldn't it take advantage of? There they are. Okay, core effects, OD1, the Spectrum. What is this? Exactly. That was like a frequency control. Slow gear. Nobody interested in slow gear really. The Auto-Wah, the SP1 Spectrum. Oh, okay. SD1, DS1. Yeah. Additional effects. There they are. PN is the tremolo.
No, okay.
PN is the tremolo.
It's a pan tremolo. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. The octaver, the pitch shifter / delay. But that one wasn't really great. So that was always the pedal. There was always the pedal that when I had to demonstrate it to guys in the store, I was like, oh god, it's gonna sound shitty. The VB2, the vibrato, okay, DD2, and then the super feedbacker and distortion. So I was like, okay, nice, but I'm not super impressed, with what's in there. Anyways, I feel like, I feel like not sure what their core audience is really.
I don't. I know for a fact, though, that as you stated before, some of these pedals you can get on the used market for not that much money. Because, I mean, there are like hundreds of thousands, if not close to millions of these pedals out since Boss has been around. Like I picked up a BF2, not a Japanese one, early Taiwan made, for $60 when I was on vacation in Scotland. I get into this small music store and I see it and I'm like, okay, I want that. The guy's like, okay, $60. I'm like, I'll take it. It's dirt cheap. It sounds phenomenal. I mean, they make great pedals. I love Boss.
They do.
This here, not my thing.
They do 100%. Anyways, let's move on. Bad Cat, definitely an M company that we both like.
Yep.
We've talked about this when it came out at NAMM, but it was NAMM last year, actually. So this is a like lunchbox style amp with, well, obviously like lots of tonal versatility, but it also has 2 notes technology built in.
Okay.
So if you look around here, you have like the knob that you know from the Captor X, where you have like access to 6 different IRs. Yep. And all of that comes in a 12-pound package, which is like ridiculous, super compact. How much watt does it? Yeah, 20 watts. Channel 1 featuring sparkling high headroom cleans with the ability to nudge into rich edge of breakup tones. Channel 2, tight punchy crunch or high gain saturation. And like usually you would associate Bad Cat with like some of the like classic rock, even some like Vox kind of tones. They had amps that did like that kind of continued where Vox like stopped. They were like, okay, we'll start from there, and make it good. And but this even brings like really high gain sounds. I've seen a video the other day that where Ola England was like playing it, like demoing it, and it sounded pretty sick. Obviously has MIDI control, buffered effects loop, and then for firmware updates has a USB-C port, XLR and headphone outs. So it's like essentially everything that we like about the 2-note stuff, like the Captor X, combined with like some classic Bad Cat and some even like some modern Bad Cat tones. So again, I think that's the way moving forward when it comes to tube amps.
Absolutely. And, yes, it does have USB ports and going to have to do some updates and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure when the company decides to like phase out the product, it's going to be easy to go get your hands on the latest firmware update, and you're probably not going to be stuck going, crap, my Bad Cat doesn't sound that great because I didn't get the latest firmware. It's probably going to be more functionality and certain features you would get from something like the 2 Notes. Whenever they update, then this one updates as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't see something like that becoming obsolete just because it's integrating digital technology with it.
No.
So that I'm okay with, because I have a hybrid system. I know you work with that too.
Yes.
And it is a lifesaver in a lot of situations. So when it's
100%.
all built in, you don't have to bring extra gear with you. That's A1 for me.
Yeah. No, it's to me, that's one of those releases. And I mean, there are a couple of companies who are doing a great job, like pushing that sort of format. Synergy, Bad Cat, obviously Ref Amps, Canadian company that like were very early adopters, like putting in incorporating the 2 Notes technology. So these to me, these guys are going into the right direction.
Yep, completely
100%.
agree.
Great release. What else? We're not talking about Ibanez a lot, but there are 2 things that like caught my eye.
Okay.
Number 1 is this. Bring back the 80s. This is like a really sort of classic Ibanez model from the late 80s. The 540 P3, which is like has a weird reverse design where like the lower horn is like super long, and it almost, I think they're actually kind of parallel, but it looks like as if
asymmetrical kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Tribute to Ibanez past. Now it's part of back as part of the Ibanez Genesis collection, where they sort of like reissue certain models that were very like either unique or very, very sought after. And yeah, I mean, the colors speak for themselves, I mean, neon is like neon yellow. What's interesting? Okay, the original guitar that came out in 87 had an HSS pickup configuration. This one is HS. So, or at least I think it is HS. What is that?
Yeah, it looks like it
there. Humbucker and a passive ceramic Infinity R. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Infinity R is a. It could also be a humbucker in single coil format. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, has all the Ibanez things, Super Wizard neck, which is like the thinnest neck in the world, pretty much. Shark tooth inlays. I mean, Floyd Rose Edge style tone. It can't get more 80s than that. That's the only thing you need is a complete spandex suit and long hair, and you need lots of hairspray.
You don't want to see me in spandex. No one does. I guarantee.
Nobody does. Nobody does.
No time for that.
Nobody wants to see me in spandex. Nobody.
I've never ever seen this model, like ever.
Never.
I wasn't even aware. No, I wasn't aware. Like for me, when I think of Ibanez, like especially like late 70s, early 80s, I'm thinking the what is it called? The Roadstar series.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a Roadstar 2. It was like a Strat.
Like Super Strat.
Yeah, but they're like a Super Strat. I have one of those. I've been looking for one of those for like fucking 20 years or something. And I wish they would kind of reissue those because they had some really interesting models. But these here, like, I wasn't much into like the whole 80s rock thing at that time. So I wasn't aware of this model. I hadn't seen it before. I don't see myself playing one just because it would kind of clash with what I do. But I'm sure if you play in like a Steel Panther kind of band or whatever, this would be like a cool design.
Yeah.
Or if you're more into like extreme genty stuff, you could even like sort of adapt it to that style of music.
Yeah, 100%. My only pet peeve is that it has a like Floyd Rose trem, because those things are like they're just terrible.
They're fun. They are absolutely fun, especially when you don't know what you're doing.
They are great until you break a string. Then you're totally screwed, especially in a live situation if you don't have a backup guitar immediately.
Or you need to change tuning.
Happened to me once in my life. I never had a guitar with Floyd Rose again. Yep. Never. It was just super painful. this moment.
I had one. I don't remember what guitar that was, but I know I had one with the Floyd Rose, and I decided to change tuning, like just drop like a half step. The process to get there was a nightmare. Yeah, I hated it. I was like, this is not for me. Like, I'm not the person for Floyd Rose, and I don't do dive bombs anyways, so it was kind of pointless. But yeah, not for this guy.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing that I saw is that this is not usually something we talk about because it's like classical guitar. Yeah. But what I found interesting about this, like three things. So first of all, the FR series that Ibanez does is, the shape kind of gives it away what it's like modeled after, if we look at this. And the FRH, the H stands for hollow body design. And it kind of sort of marries the world of like classical guitar with the world of electric guitar, because some of the other aspects, especially the neck and the nut width and everything, is more towards like electric guitar. So it's like super easy to play, has like a super flat radius. What else? But one thing that stood out to me, I was reading through this and I was like, hey, okay, that's cool. And I know that, what's this guy's name? The guy from Polyphia, the guitar player, has a model that is pretty much like this. And that's how this whole thing became like, more important for Ibanez. But I was reading through this and I was like, this thing is $650. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And then I was looking at that price. And I was thinking a little bit, and I was like, Godin is doing that sort of guitar for like the past 20 years or something.
Probably more, because I remember it back in the 90s. Yeah,
but their guitar costs double or even more than double than $650. I think like the Godin, what's the A6 was like the main model. I think
the one with the EQ on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think those are like $1,300-$1,400 right now. So I'm like, this is sort of really cutting into that space.
It is. It's just that I think what would set Godin apart from these guys is that if you look, there's a documentary about them. You can probably find it on YouTube. Yeah. They grow their own forest.
I know.
And they cut it there, and they do everything in-house. So they're not like shipping it somewhere, getting everything processed, and then just assembling it, right? Yeah. So there's actually a justification to the cost. They're quite a small company when you consider it, but their guitars are stellar. Like they make great guitars.
I know that Robert Godin has signed a contract with the Canadian government that is set out for like 50 years or something, around that, growing wood for the guitars. So like he essentially has a never-ending source of material.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find that was what was it called? Godin Multiac. And the first one I find here on Thomann's website begins at $16.99.
Yeah.
And I know that, obviously they're made in Canada. They're not made in Indonesia or whatever. But in times where, cash is rare, and wallets are thin, you gotta somehow try to offer something that you can people are still attracted to. But this is like $17.99, and the higher you get, like the higher you get in quality, I suppose, you're closer to 2K, which is like, oof.
And you guys too are paying for the import because they're never that price over here for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in Canada, so within North America, they're not too bad. When they get shipped over to your place, they're seen as, an import because they're Canadian. But I see your point though about this. Like if you want to get into that realm, there's not many companies that are making guitars like these. I think one that is kind of similar is that butt ugly one Fender makes. That looks like a Telly.
The Acoustic-Caster? Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
I tried one of those. I was like, oh, dude, seriously, this is not for me. I'm sure there's someone out there who's going to love it, but it misses the mark for me. But then when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can't. Like if I was living in Europe and I wanted something like what Godin is offering, and then you see this for this price tag, way more appealing, obviously, and I got to get like everything else that Godin is offering, but I think for that price point, if you just need it for a few songs in a set, go with that.
Yeah, 100%. And then there's another funny story around the Fender Acoustic-Caster. When it first came out, they were talking with a couple of like high-profile YouTubers for the launch campaign, and while they managed to get guys or girls like Mary Spender in the boat. It was actually Paul Davids out of the Netherlands, which obviously has a huge subscriber base.
Yeah,
a couple of millions right now. He actually, and that's something that I was being told by somebody I met at Guitar Summit. I'm not sure who knows a couple of guys around him very well. Allegedly, they sent the Acoustic-Caster to him, and he was open to do a video with it. But then he returned it, and he said it's terrible. It's just a really terrible instrument, and I'm not going to sit here and talk negative or like lie about something.
Yeah.
Just because I'm getting paid to do it. So he sent it back, and apparently like. Marketing people at Fender were furious. It's like, well, not so much you can do about it.
It's not because you're a big name brand and that you conceive something that people have to love it.
Yeah.
Like you have to reciprocate how it's received on the market and correct and just do better next time. And I know they're like stubborn. They're going to be like, no, we made this. We're going to keep putting it out. Yes, but how many are you selling? That's the question. I don't see anyone playing them ever.
Yeah.
And I don't see them on the used market because no one seems to be buying them.
No. There's every time I go into a guitar store, the first thing I see is like lots of these stupid things hanging on the wall and like catching dust, essentially. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing I found. And it wasn't so much that, because this is a PRS SE studio, so it's like the lower tier line coming out of Indonesia. But I was looking at the image and I was like, damn, this looks great. This looks like a really great guitar. I mean, obviously these guys know how to take images as well. They know how to take photos. But I was looking at this and I was like, damn, this looks really sexy. So it looks like a really sexy instrument. And then I went to check out what it's all about. So this is essentially like a review. This is a Guitar World article. And how much this costing? I'm not sure. What does it say? $849. Are you kidding me? This is insane. It's like I mean, this thing has what, like 3 humbuckers? They're not humbuckers. They're called narrow field or something. Let me see. Yeah, so a 5815 in the bridge, and then the narrow field DDS in middle and neck positions.
Do you know what that means?
I'm not sure what that means. But the narrow field, they're humbuckers. They are humbuckers. And then you have a 5-way lever pickup switch, and then you have two mini toggle coil tab switches. So you can turn these into single coils. But if not, if I remember correctly, those narrow fields were closer to the sound of a single coil, but obviously without hum. They're not humming because there are two coils in there. And so somehow they're like closer to what a single coil sounds like with all the advantages of a humbucker, plus there's like always this little added mid-range with most humbuckers. But I look at this and I'm like, $850. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is an amazing guitar for under $1,000. Unbelievable.
I'm a big fan of cheap guitars, especially the modern production one. I was at a Long and McQuaid here in town, and I see this orange and really beautiful like color to it guitar that looks like a Telecaster. So I grab it, and then I look at the headstock. It's a Squier. Thin body. It has the body cut in the back. The neck felt great, but it was a flatter radius, so I'm not sure which model it was. And I look at the price tag, it was like $400 something, like stupid low. And I was like, this thing rivals some of my guitars here in the studio, and it's a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
I'm sure the only thing I would do to it, perhaps, is if I didn't like the pickup configuration, I would probably swap those out. Yeah. That is basically where we're at right now. We have like sub $1,000 guitars that if you're not happy with what it comes with, you can swap out the parts or even the hardware and have a stellar instrument for not that much money. But what I understand, like I don't know very much about PRS because I've tried a few of their guitars. I think they're cool, but I don't know. I haven't found the one that just kind of makes me want to fork out $7,000. But what I can tell is that they don't cheap out on the quality of what they put into even the SE models.
Yes.
Because you grab the SE and the neck feels great. The finish looks great. And you go, why is this one $1,000 and that one $7,000? Like you look at them and you go, I'm confused. They both look like they're in the same like price bracket. So I don't know if this is a conscious effort on their part to make their like more affordable guitars as cool as the bigger model. But if that's the case, then kudos to them because it really fucking impressed me. Like I grabbed a PRS while I was at that store and I looked at the price tag. I'm like, oh, I could afford this. I play it. I thought it was cool. Put it back. I grab another one and I go, oh, $7,000. Shit. Okay. No, I hope I don't like this one. And it felt just as good as the other one. I was like, okay, they're onto something. And they figured out some kind of formula to put really killer guitars that are in a price range most people can afford.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. And they definitely, I mean, same experience here. I picked up I was at a store where they sold used instruments and they had a Silver Sky, the John Mayer, but the SE version. And I picked it up and I plugged it into, I think it was like a deluxe reverb or something. And it sounded absolutely phenomenal. The pickups sounded amazing. You know, like for a guitar that I think the guy wanted to have like $700 for it. You wouldn't even need to swap the pickups on that one. It really sounded great. And I think PRS are definitely on the forefront of, you know, when it comes to like the affordable, the SE line, it's just the value of them. It's just great. And then regarding the USA made stuff, I mean, visually, some of those guitars look absolutely stunning. But I feel like if I give someone like 4,000 or 5,000 euros for an instrument that looks amazing, I feel weird for playing the shit out of it. you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I would rather, you know, just look at it all day and look how beautiful it is. That's kind of my dilemma with PRS or with like the high end stuff. But all the guitars I've played, even the high end stuff, sounded amazing. So, and there are some like really high class artists that play PRS guitars, and you know they can't be all wrong. So
no, and even like some of their artists are endorsing the SE line. Like you got Mark Tremonti, Carlos Santana. You have the guys from Opeth. I mean, there's a lot of musicians there that they have, and even John Mayer is endorsing his own SC stuff. There's nothing worse than when you have, like, let's say a big company and they sell guitars that are like 10,000 and they don't bat an eye at that price range, and their guitars are okay, but not phenomenal. Yeah. And then they come out with, you know, the new Slash model or the new this model and that model. And then there's like an Epiphone version that is like basically wood fire. You try it and you go, there's no way I bring this to a tech where they're going to make this awesome. Like none. And that pisses me off. But then you look at what PRS is doing. It's like, no, our like the entry level stuff is still going to be killer. If that's the only instrument you buy from us, you got a good pair of shoes. Like you're good for a while.
Yeah.
I wish there was more of that, even with some of the bigger brands, but sadly not everyone has that philosophy.
No, not at all. And finally, and that's the not like instrument related topic that I found, but I just found it interesting as hell because I wouldn't have expected that. So apparently Andy Summers and Stuart Copeland, both guitar player and drummer of The Police, they are suing Sting for royalties, for lost royalties from the song Every Breath You Take, which is obviously one of their like most iconic songs and like one of most iconic singles. And I'm just going to read some parts of that. So the Police frontman Sting is reportedly being sued by his former bandmates, guitarist Andy Summers and drummer Stuart Copeland, over lost royalties from their biggest hit, Every Breath You Take. The news is being reported by The Sun, while People has found documents relating to the suit in the London High Court's database pertaining to general commercial contracts and arrangements. According to a source per The Sun, Summers and Copeland are claiming substantial damages, saying they are owed millions in lost royalties. The dispute has been ongoing for some time. According to the source, lawyers tried repeatedly to reach out. They essentially wanted to settle. But Andy and Stuart decided there was no alternative to like going to court, so they pressed the button. Now, here's the thing that I mean, when we talk about like royalties, especially in these like modern times with streaming and everything, you might think like, yeah, okay, they're getting a paycheck here and there, but you know, it's can't be too much. And I was so wrong. Wrong. According to the Daily Mail, Sting earns around £550,000 per year in royalties just from Every Breath You Take alone. Wait, like that's it's over £500,000. That's like $700,000 or something from one song. Just from one song. I never expected that. I expected it to be high, but not millions high. And now, obviously, this is the part that's like the controversial. PRS for Music Records state Sting is the sole composer and author of the song, which is why he gets all the royalties. But obviously the other guys, they don't agree. And Andy Summers hinted at legal action against Sting back in 2023 over royalties, saying of his contributions to the track, that song was going in the trash until I played on it. He later said, apparently, a forthcoming legal action, watch the press, let's see what happens in the next year. So apparently these two are pretty sure that, you know, they have equally contributed to the song, and that's why they're suing him.
Boy, there's a lot to unpack there too, because if you Like for people who've been in the industry, right? So whether you've had to sign a contract or you know what goes into signing a contract, a lot of bands, when they go into the studio, they're given an advance to record the album.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's a very modest amount, but back in those days, it was almost unlimited budget. Like you go in the studio, it could be like millions of dollars.
Yes.
The band doesn't make money off of that.
No.
They have to repay the company, in this case, whoever it is at the time, whatever label they were with. And then they tour, they make some money, and how they negotiated their contract makes it so that they could have points on the album, but they're not going to make money off of that until the album is paid back.
Exactly.
And if these guys didn't have like a great lawyer go over this shit, which most people back in those days did not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists out there like Billy Joel and, you know, all these guys. If you look at their history, they got massively fucked by labels and managers.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're looking at $500,000 for Sting. We're going, shit, that's a lot of money. I'd love to see the numbers on who owns the masters and how much they make. So the bands are going at each other, right?
Yeah, but I've recently heard an interview with James Hetfield of Metallica, who said that, like, according to their contract, and it was already negotiated like very well for them. Yeah. After 15 years of album release, the rights go back to them. Like 15 years after each album release, rights go back to them. That was their contract.
Okay.
I don't know what the case is here. I'm not sure what, you know, we don't know that.
No.
But if Sting gets over £500,000 a year just from one song, imagine, you know, how much the total is. Because I mean, that's one song. There are other hits that are played over and over.
Yep.
And covered and whatnot. So obviously there's much more money in there. But there is a reason why the other two guys, you know, go through all this hustle of you know, going to court, because apparently they feel like they're being screwed over. Well, I just picked this out because I never expected that number. When I saw like they're owed millions in lost royalties, I was like, how can it be millions? And then I looked at like, what, £550,000 a year? Are you kidding me?
So are they bringing Sting in court, or are they bringing the label?
No,
in court?
Sting.
So they're bringing him
because he is he is recorded like as the like documents say that he is the sole author and composer. Okay. Which the other two are like, well, how are you the sole composer and author? You know, if, you know, I came up with the guitar part and the other guy came up with the drums and you know, and if allegedly this song was going to trash initially. Yeah, very weird.
If you sat in on how they do stuff now, it's like if some guy is like working, there's like 10 people working with an artist nowadays, and everyone, it's like, how about instead of saying you say duh, and now they want like credits on the album because they helped write the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're back in those days, I get the impression guys were just all in the studio. The guy's like, I got this song, I wrote it, I wrote the lyrics, I got the melody, I just don't know what to fucking do on it. Drummer does a cool part, the guitar player does a cool part, all of a sudden you got a song. But if these two didn't really think they were going to get screwed over, they think like, dude, that's my drums, right? Yeah, but you didn't write the melody, you just wrote the drums. And that's where they start to bicker and get at each other, is to find out like, what is your true contribution to the songwriting? Did you just play guitar as a hired gun, or were you part of the writing process? And that's where that shit gets so messy.
True.
So messy.
However, I've seen a documentary on. I'm a huge Police fan. Like, at least like I love their early works because it was like so different to everything else that was around. and I've seen documentary once, and the documentary shows very well how these guys worked. They always worked together. They always worked in the studio in case like something came out. They were able to record immediately. So they really did it the way demos for an album were done back in the days, which means that everybody was involved. You know, you can't just say, well, and I mean, it's not unusual for people to get royalties because they came up with the lyrics. You know, like if Sting gets royalties for the lyrics, fine, but he gets like royalties for the entire song, which obviously the other two have, you know, their beef
problem
with.
Yeah.
I'm definitely staying close on that one. I really want to find out how this is playing out because I mean, yeah, we're talking a big chunk of money here.
I would love to have just one deposit of that salary he makes a year, just like one time in my bank account. You know, just like 500,000, especially euros. When you convert that to Canadian currency, it starts to get nice.
It's pounds. It has to be like double.
Oh, and it's pounds, even better. There you go.
Give it all to me. Give it all to me.
Yeah. I'll take just a one-time payment, and then I'm out of your hair, buddy.
Exactly. You know, just give it to me once, and then the rest. You know, I'm not even going to bother you.
Hey, Frank, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Aren't we doing something special today?
Yes.
For those who stuck around, right?
Because those who stuck around.
Yeah, we didn't want to put it at the beginning where they just drop in and then bail out and just leave us hanging. We were like, look, if you're a true fan, this is the cost of winning this, is that you stick around, you like the topic, you get to comment, let us know what you think of these topics, what your position is.
Yes.
And then maybe you're just a lucky bastard who gets not one, but also another lucky bastard who can get a second battle. So we get ourselves two winners.
Exactly.
I mean, that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. And I'm not the only one saying it, okay? All right. Let me share my screen so I can show you. Ta-da!
Click to spin or press Control plus Enter. Exactly. I wanted to make that sound like I was like part of like Wheel of Fortune or something, but I couldn't do it.
Who was actually hosting Wheel of Fortune?
Bob Barker, I think. Back in like the early days. Yeah, I think it was Bob Barker.
Wasn't Bob Barker The Price is Right? I'm not sure.
Could be. Look, dude.
Yeah.
I was a kid back then. Didn't even have like any hair under my arms, so I wasn't paying attention to anything.
We had the Price is Right show in Germany as well, but it was hosted by a Dutch guy who was able to speak German, but with an accent, with a typical Dutch accent, and it sounded so weird. But people understood him, and people were watching it because, you know, they wanted to see, you know, if somebody wins or doesn't. Anyways, let's get to business.
How many entries do we have for this?
We have, and we are going to be fully transparent about this. So, at this point, we have a total of 903 subscribers. We just passed the 900 subscriber mark, which we are very, very thankful for. Thank you guys for, you know, continue to follow us and, you know, maybe even spread the word. So, you know, people hear about us, hear about the podcast. However, publicly subscribed, what it gives me is 294. So that definitely says something.
Yeah.
And those 294 names or usernames are in this list. And in order to make things like 100% transparent, we can even, you know, shuffle those around. Just because, you know, can.
Yeah, we can.
And now I'm going to spin, and the first pedal we are giving away is an FFX Pedals Arc of Tone in a 1-off color. If you have watched the video that I was releasing in the past week, I'm showing both of the pedals, and the first winner is going to get that. And
just before, because I've done giveaways on my channel before, and I can tell you right now, we are not going to ask for money.
No.
If you get in contact with us and things look fishy and you're thinking, wait a minute, they're asking for stuff they shouldn't be asking, like my bank account or all this stuff, we don't ask for that. All we need is your name to verify, and we need your address so we can send it to you. That's it. We don't ask for money. So if you have anyone pretending to be us in the comments, don't fall for it. We don't do that stuff.
No, we don't do that stuff. And the most extremist thing that we might ask for is, depending on the carrier, I might need an email address and a phone number, because some carriers just demand that I have that, in place in order for the recipient to be contacted.
And one more thing, we're going to have a way of knowing if you're the winner, so that there's no one trying to get the pedal away from you. I have a protocol I built. I'm going to share it with Frank. That way we know it's you. We can verify it's you. It's going to be super simple. And when we get there, we'll give you the instructions on how to do it. So that's all I wanted to say, just so that people are like, how do you know it's me? Like, how, like, someone else emails and pretends to be me? We got something. You're not going to lose your pedal.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me spin the first one. And we have a winner, and it's a Nightwalker. Whoever Nightwalker with a 6 instead of an H is Nightwalker.
Congratulations. And what did Nightwalker win?
Nightwalker won the FFX Pedals Arc of Tone in a limited one-off color. We only did that color once because we were looking for the color that we would go for the pedal release, and then this one didn't make it, so I only did it once. I think I sent it over to you because it was like the first PCB, like full production PCB that I had like ready, and I wanted to send it over so that you could do content. So essentially that pedal was used for a couple of like videos, but other than that it wasn't used at all. So Nightwalker, if you watch this, please get in touch with us. You can do so by commenting under this video. Obviously, then we'll definitely know it's you, because your username is going to be visible. Or you could also write an email to toneloungepc@gmail.com. That's the other way. I'm going to remove him because otherwise he's going to get 2 pedals.
Yeah, and for the winners today, I'm going to do a community post so that you won. So if you haven't seen the podcast, but you do follow the channel, you're going to be able to see it in the community post. I'm going to do my best to post at least 3 times. I hope you get to see it. We will send out reminders, but if for whatever reason the person doesn't contact us within a certain amount of time, we're going to give you time. Yeah, we've been trying to shoot these pedals out for like a year, so we can wait a little bit. But if ever that it happens that you don't see it for whatever reason, eventually we're going to have to put a deadline to when you can claim the pedal. But yeah, I'm going to be putting the winners on the community post. You guys will get to see it if you haven't watched the episode.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Second winner is going to win a limited edition Jupiter Effects Wallow in pink, which they don't make anymore. And I think they only made a handful of them. So it's a really unique pedal. And let's see who is going to win that pedal. Method Insane.
Congratulations.
Okay. Method Insane. If you recognize your username, it's so much easier if they just have, clear names. But anyways, Method Insane. If you recognize your username, please get in touch with us, comment under this video, or send an email to toneloungepc@gmail.com, and then we'll be in touch and we'll send you your pedal.
Very cool. So we got 2 people who won 2 awesome pedals.
Exactly. We have. And I really hope that this works out this time, because I'm like, Otherwise we can change our slogan. We can just be like, Welcome to the Tone Lounge podcast, the show that's given away pedals since 1987. But the same two pedals.
It's the same two pedals.
Like, what?
No, they're like the most leprous pedals you've ever seen. No one wants to touch them for whatever reason. We don't know, but hey, if you don't want the pedals, fine. You know.
Probably the people that we picked up in the two previous times that we kind of tried to like pick winners probably subscribed at some point, and then they were like, oh, I'm not going to watch YouTube anymore. I'm just going to watch, television. Something like that.
Could be that, or maybe they subscribed to the channel, watched one time, and then never bothered to come back. So they never knew that they won. There's a lot of possibility, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful this time we can send some great pedals to some people so they can enjoy them. So
that's why, and I think, you're hearing that from everybody who is creating content on YouTube. Like, that's why it is actually important to not only subscribe, but also hit the bell icon. Because if you don't hit the bell icon, yes, you're a subscriber, but you won't get notified. Like I'm the channels that I'm following, I'm always ringing the bell icon so that I really get a notification when something new comes out. And I'm following quite a few people when it comes to like educational content. And otherwise I would miss all that. Or I would like at some point see it and I'm like, oh God, I missed 10 videos. When I'm going to watch those.
And that's without counting the algorithm sometimes deciding for you that you don't watch enough of that content. So they're going to unsubscribe you or take you off the notification list. That's happened to me a few times where I was like,
really?
And I haven't seen this person in months. Then I go back and I'm unsubscribed. And I don't like when I unsubscribe, I know exactly why I do it. And these are channels I used to watch quite often. So yes, it's part of the algorithm. If you don't watch enough content from a channel, they will take off the notification because you do not go whenever they send it to you in your Gmail and you don't click on it to go watch it. They go, oh, so you're no longer interested. Fine, we'll take you off.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that. But that's what they do.
That's weird.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
It's YouTube.
It's YouTube. It's YouTube. It's Google.
Yeah. What can you do? It's their model. So
they do whatever they want.
World's smallest accordion.
This is even better. The double jerk. The double jerking off.
Yeah.
And then there's always, and then out of all songs, it's YMCA. I mean, come on. It's YMCA and he's jerking two people off.
We can't do that too often here because, we're going to get like YouTube saying, oh, you guys are really like inappropriate. We're going to have to put an R rating on your podcast. Well, there's already me that's contributing to that. Now, if you start to do the double jerks thing, it's going to get worse. So.
No, and also you can't say anything, bad about him these days. Otherwise, he's going to catch you. He's going to catch you, and he's going to cancel you. He's going to cancel you because, and quite frankly, they're a threat to democracy.
A little guitar YouTube channel podcast, yeah. Yeah, that's giving us a lot of credit there.
I mean, they're good people on both sides, but
Yep.
Right.
Nice.
Cool. So, I'd like to finish this up by reminding everybody to subscribe and like and hit the bell icon. We just explained why. Hit it hard. And until the next episode, we salute you. Cheers.
Cheers.